Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining from. You are welcome to Navigating with NWN Student Conference, and I'm happy to be having everybody here. I'm sure if you're happy to be here, just drop your just react on the comment box. We are great to have you here, and this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are joining from. We are excited to have you here. And we're here together to listen to people share their journey with us, to share their experiences with us. We are all happy to listen and to learn. So I'll be bringing the anchor on stage, um, and I'm sure that is happy to to join. Hi, Eniola, you are welcome. Just confirm if you can hear me. You are already on stage, and can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
All right, so you can pick up from here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. So before we begin, please, can we just have like an opening prayer here? So, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for this opportunity you've given us to come together as students for this conference. May your name be glorified in the name of Jesus. Father, we pray for your success concerning this conference, for the impact it shall have upon us. We shall put it into use in the mighty name of Jesus. We thank you for the mentors who will be taking us through this process, Father, I shall continue to bless them in the mighty name of Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. All right. You welcome everybody. I welcome you to this NWN First Students Conference. Though it's also my first time here, and I'm delighted to see so many of us on this special occasion. So we are free to announce the NWN Students Conference, and I know we have been anticipating for like 3 or 5 days now, and it's a joy for everybody. So today we are being lined up with inspiring speakers, engaging discussions, and networking opportunities. So I will encourage you to make the best use of everything, ask questions, and things that you find tricky. I want you to also ask questions about them. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Eniola. Your work is not done. Your work is not done. Um, I'd want to invite the two panelists. Eniola, are you able to
So
hear me?
yes, sir. Can you, sir?
Yeah, so please bring up the two panelists and then we get started from there. Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay. So I'd like us to introduce our panelists. For our first speaker, we'll be having our NWN founder, who is our I call him Pastor Noah Abdullahi, and we have a lot of other amazing people among us. So I'd like to introduce one of our mentors, Miss Priscilla. I don't know if she's online here. Hello, ma. Sure, please do you have Miss Priscilla around? Yes, she's with us.
Hi
Good evening,
there.
ma.
Good
Good evening, ma.
evening.
Yeah, nice to
Evening,
have you
sir.
here, ma.
And you
Good
too.
evening, sir. Yeah, so these are the wonderful people who had put up this program for us, and I would like us to appreciate them. Send in your favorite emoji, send in whatever you have. So briefly, sir, I would like you to introduce yourself to us. I would like to know about you, sir, what you've done and what you like doing, sir.
Okay, my name is Noel Abdullahi. Let's start from where we are, and then I can tell you more about where I'm coming from. Okay, so where we are, Noel Abdullahi. I'm the founder of Navigating with Noel, a platform that was set up to ensure that the youths are positioned, to be able to be the best versions of themselves, leveraging our three core pillars, which is learning, accountability, and networking. So, a brief about my background. I Let me just start from my university. I finished from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where I studied geology, and then I also proceeded to University of Lagos, where I had my postgraduate in applied geophysics. And after that, I've had a couple of other short courses in schools like Harvard and other world class universities. And beyond all this, I am a child of God, son of the living God. And in that capacity, I was opportune to be a pastor of young people, a youth pastor for several years, uh, specifically at the Christian Brethren Church, Lagos, where I oversaw the youth ministry, and we pace setters in organizing youth camps and several initiatives that have transformed the lives of many. Currently, I'm based in the United States of America, where I just function as both a pastor and as an entrepreneur in, in a nutshell. And I'm also a father of three children, and I'm married to my sweetheart, Lucy. So that's it. We're not hearing you, Eniola. I think I'm not hearing you. On mute.
Can everyone hear me now?
We can hear you, but we're not seeing your face again. Let's
Okay.
hear you. Let's see your face. Good.
All right, sir. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the intro. We are glad to meet you, sir. Especially me, I'm very glad to meet you, sir. So, Mentor Priscilla, please can we have a brief introduction?
Okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, Eniola. Hello, Pastor Noel. Good to see you again today, sir. So, I'm Priscilla, and it's a pleasure being here today. It's the NWN Student Conference, the very first one. Is a dream come true, and I'm excited it's here and now. So, quickly, I'm Priscilla Debayo, and a coach on navigating with Noel. Just like Pastor Noel said, let's start from where we are. So, and I was one of the founding members of Navigating with Noel, and I'm very excited that how far God has brought us in the past few years that we have just started, and lives, especially of youth, that have been impacted and that are still, being impacted. And so that's what I love to do. I love people. I love working with people. I love impacting and influencing lives and being a blessing anywhere I find myself. And so I'm rounding off my postgraduate program. Um, I'm doing a lot of things and and many things to many people. So I'm a Nigerian trained lawyer, and I have a master's in dispute resolution from Pepperdine University, and I love excellence anyway, and I don't want to talk too much about that. I don't like us to go into the details, but for now that's me, and I'm excited to talk you through these things that I have been through. By the grace of God, while I was on campus, I was involved in a lot of activities, and through the help of God, discipline, resilience, diligence, I was able to excel in everything that the Lord laid on my hands at that point in time. And so we're here today to show you the ropes as to how you will be able to achieve the same, given the opportunity you have today. So take good advantage of it. Pick up your pen, jotters, papers, ask the questions that have been bothering you that no one seems to have an answer as far as it's related to your academics, life in general, your current life. We have been through this stage. Pastor Noah is here. He went ahead before me. closer to you people in age, but all the same, we're here to help you guys hold your hands through and ensure you have a better experience than we ever had. So you're all welcome to today, and we're glad to have you. Okay. Admin.
There is a bit of glitch with Eniola. I'll just step in for him while he's trying to navigate his way back to the stage. Thank you very much for the awesome introduction, and we are really happy to be here today and to learn the ropes, as we have been told. So we just want to ask some few questions, because it's a panel session, panel conversation, and we want to know how we'll be able to navigate the complexities of school. Let me just go straight to the point and go to the question. So if you love to, just for time, would want to make most of our things very very snappy, and if you want to contribute to the question, just let me know. I am happy to let you know. All right. So the first question I have here. Let's just get off the lights. All right. So the first question I have here is, what are effective daily routine or practices that can help manage stress, during exam period? What are the effective daily routine or practices that can help manage stress during exam period? I think Coach Priscilla will be the best person to answer this question at this particular point. Just share for us from experiences, what you've practiced and what has really worked for you, in this instance, and how we can learn from it.
All right. Thank you for that question. And this single question, I can spend a whole day talking about it. But I will try as much as possible to be brief, and I hope the viewers are able to jot down the main points on this. I will use a lot of personal examples. I believe a lot in personal examples. I don't just want to talk. I want to tell you what has worked for me. We are different. It might not work for you, but I tell you, as far as academics living on campus is concerned, it's like the same routine for everybody. And so if you pay attention to these things, you'll find a lot of tips that would be helpful for you. So, effective daily routine, it depends on the kind of person you are. If you're a routine person, if you're a person who just leaves things to the wind, through you kind of want to live like that if you're on campus. I would use my typical day on campus, for example. By the way, I went to Olabisi Onabanjo University in Nigeria. I started with a diploma program. I was, I think, 16 when I got on campus. And then I could remember in my 100 level, I just wanted to ensure, I was just, dogged about academic excellence. I just wanted to excel academically because I believe that is my inheritance as a child of God. And so I gave it my all. And these things are stuff that I figured out on my own a lot of times, and also things that I was able to pick up in books and the things I've read and all, but specifically more of a lifestyle, pattern. I would say, for example, if you I try to do like a timetable whereby I structure my entire day. I write it all out. And I still do that sometimes now once I discover I'm not being as productive as I ought to be. So you might want to begin by how many hours do you have in a day? 24 hours. So what do you want to do every day of your life when you wake up while on campus? So you begin with highlighting, okay, I'm waking up for 6 a.m. I do like prayer 6 a.m. to 6:30 or 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I spend time with God, studying the scriptures, having a quiet time. And then after that, I do my chores. If you even want to meet up with like a lecture, most times, most lectures at that stage are at 8 a.m. So it might be better for you to rise up earlier, say like 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m., so that you wouldn't be late for class, depending if you're living on campus or off campus. So I could go on and on telling you, a typical daily life routine. You wake up, then you allot times also for your chores. You allot time to heat breakfast or make breakfast, and make sure it's something light that won't take your time. Or while you're taking your shower, it's cooking, and so by the time you're out of shower, you just take something in, off to school. You get to school, the number of hours you have in classes for that day. For example, you have like two lectures that day, or three lectures in class that day, and you have breaks in between. What would you spend your break time doing? You understand? Many people just while away, gisting and laughing, walking about, going to cafeteria on campus, and those are part of your day that you should properly account for. And so by the time you for me then in between hours, I go into the library. I spend time trying to prepare for classes, and try to, after classes, conclude by like, okay, what did we do in class today? Just quickly take a rough look at it, because I know if I have an idea of what we're going to do in class before I go, and then I understand after the class, I'm able to quickly take a deep dive into it again before rounding up my day, before jumping onto other activities. I discover that it sticks better. It sticks kind of into my long-term memory than for me not to prepare before I go to class, and not to perfect it at the end of class by going through what we have done. If I miss those stages, it's just like I've learned, but then by the time I pick up the book, say like 1 month after, because there's a test, it's going to look a bit new to me. But if I did that before, after, during, and then by the time I'm done for that day, and I want to pick up that book again in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I remember almost everything there. And that's how I think it works for everybody. So there's a lot to talk about on that. And how you spend your day, how you spend your minutes, your hours, your day entirely, would tell how much of a person you end up being. Is that an excellent student? It also tells how you're able to manage stress. During exam period, I will use a very important example. I figure that I'm the kind of person that I don't finish reading until I enter exam, or I'm that kind of person. I just feel like there's something to still read. There's something I just don't want to forget, of which sometimes I don't need it. But then a particular semester, my 100 level second semester, I said, no, this semester, I don't want to do that. I want to study and know if there's ever a time I can stop reading. And I'm so sure that I'm done and I'm ready for this exam. And it happened. I did it. Do you know why? That semester, from the very beginning, I ensured what I told you. I read before classes. I attend all my classes. And by the way, I sit in front. I have so many tips on these things, simple things, but that will help set you up for excellence. Not just even stress management. They will relieve you of life stress. They will relieve you of academic stress, and yet still help you achieve, an excellent life eventually. So back to my story. I'm rounding off now. Back to my story. I said this semester I don't want to go through this stress or rigor of exam period. I won't read. I won't, because but for my secondary school background, I would say I was above average. Yeah, I was above average because I wasn't as excellent as I could be. Why? Because I don't read. It's when it's time for exams. That's when I was just gonna bring up my books. The entire week of 1 week of exam in secondary school, I tell you, throughout that week, I might not sleep up to 20 hours throughout an entire week, because I love excellence. I don't want to fail. I must make A's in most of those courses. And so I'm going to stay up all night reading on my feet because I don't want to sleep. I read my economics from SS1, SS2. You know how we read for secondary school. And so I could do that. And so by the end of the day, I will have like very high grades in exam, like best grades in my exam. But my CA, I had played with it. I had toyed with it. So at the end of the day, maybe I didn't even have CA. Sometimes it's just my exams. So coming to the uni, I said, no, that's not going to happen. I'm going to make use of my potentials, the things that God has given me. And so that semester, I would read before classes, go to the library before I head to school to the class. During the class, listen, pay attention, write notes, ask questions. And after the class, again, quickly do a deep dive of, oh, okay, this was what I was trying to read before class. I didn't understand. Make sure it enters, it sinks into my brain and memory. And so when it was time for exam, my dear, by the time I just flip through my notes, I know everything there. And like, it's so easy to, understand. And seriously, I slept through that exam. Every night I would sleep at the regular time, wake up in the morning. And guess what? I made 8 A's and 2 B's that semester. The 2 B's were even in my I remember my grade too. Even my 100 level grade. I remember to now many of them, because each of them is a testimony to me. Many people are like, but you have A's all the time. Why is 1 A always a big deal to it? Is because I know what happened in my preparation, or and everything is a testimony. I do not take one for granted. So I had 8 A's and 2 B's. The 2 B's were even in GNS, because GNS is just, sometimes it's not about how you prepare, it's just about luck many times. So, but for the others, yeah. So that told me that no, I could do it. And I was feeling unserious, you understand? But I wasn't stressed at all. It was my best exam ever. And so, but was I able to do this content? Was I able to sustain this habit? I would say no. I wasn't able to sustain it. Why? I had so many other things, as I was advancing in school, other responsibilities that didn't allow me. But we'll talk more. We'll still go more into. So early preparation, reading before classes, during every day, be like, I have a test, study each course that you have that day as if you have a test. And so that time, when it's time for exam, you just be glossing and enjoying. Principle of consistency. You have to be consistent in all of the things you're doing. And diligence, having a timetable. So those are all the points I randomly spoke about. So you can pick them as they apply to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. This is not my hello. Okay, thank you, Priscilla. Even though me,
Yeah.
I'm not as a good student as Priscilla. I'll say a little bit unserious. So we used to look for shortcuts. No, the likes of Priscilla, they are very diligent. They are not like me. I'm a restless guy. I can't sit and read for 4 hours. I don't know. I've tried it. It doesn't just work for me. So one of the things that I practiced haphazardly that gave me some good results, I wasn't consistent, was that when I come to school, nobody gave me that secret. I go to the school library and I go and get all the past questions. All the past questions as for that semester, for that session, since the department began, there was a file they used to keep them. So me, since I can't sit to read, I'll look at those questions. And I would say more often than not, those lecturers don't have the time to sit down and be setting new questions. I believe that they also go to that file to extract the questions. So me, I use that hack. So I'll just go look through, master those questions. When they are teaching in the class, I try to like, okay, this question I saw, okay, this is what it is. So if it's going to be asking question, it to be like this. So that was a kind of hack, that helped me. Then when the semester starts, I look at the whole semester. I want to see where Wahala is. Wahala means courses that people are afraid of. Courses that everybody, this one, there are some courses, they give them some demonic names like that. Hey, this one is this, everybody usually feels it. The only person that passes has a C. So some of those kind of courses, what I try to do is I try to look for people who have done that course before and passed, maybe my seniors, and I start asking them questions on how did they succeed, and usually all these things have tricks. I remember one of those kind of hard courses, the person was just telling me, see, that man, to pass his course, just master his notes from the beginning to the end. Don't go and read any other book, just his note, give him his note, you'll pass. So, all those kind of social interactions, I used leverage my own social skills since I didn't have the kind of capacity the likes of Priscilla them have to at least make up to ensure that I don't fail. Then last but not the least, leveraging group study. I am someone that is a social animal, and I learn more by let's discuss this, let's read this thing together and discuss. So that helped me, especially to catch up when exam is very close, since I don't read all through the semester. So we meet with people like Priscilla, those brilliant guys, and start asking them questions. And more often than not, before you know it, most of the discussions come out in the exam and we catch up. So we leverage on their grace, and then God helps us. So those are just my contributions to that. Thank you.
Yeah, for real. Like past questions can never be overemphasized. I used to tell students that if you're able to do like 4 years even just 4 years, and you answer it by yourself as if you are doing an exam, you mark yourself, you grade yourself, you're good on that exam. There's no way. There's no way you will, because it's still the even if the craft is the same topics, it's the same syllabus, and it's similar questions or even exact questions. So when you get to the exams and you have options, the question is going to be like, which one am I even going to, pick? It's not about which one do I know or which one do I not know. So thank you, sir, for sharing.
Know yourself.
Thank you, sir.
That's what I tell you. I say, just know yourself. If I say I want to do like Priscilla in shorts, no.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, ma. I hope we are all jotting down things. These are very important keynotes, and one of the things I've picked up from it is to identify yourself. I think I'll align more with Pastor Noel. I basically don't have those times to read throughout the night. I'm not really that kind of person. And the group reading, I also don't really do that. I just meet few people. So, Pastor Noel, I'd like to direct this question to you, sir. It's concerning managing our spiritual life as students. Like, can you suggest strategies for integrating spiritual practices into student schedules? Like, how can we manage our, let's say, our church activities in school, our prayer life? How can we build our spiritual life and also build our educational life, sir?
Okay. So I would first of all establish a base that your primary goal of being in school hmm, is to pass your exams and pass with flying colors. That is the number one thing. It's not for you to be a pastor in the school. You have the whole of your life to be a pastor. But the primary goal while you are in school is to do well in your academics. And the truth is, you have to have a good handle of that. If not, at the end of the day, the Christ that you are representing, you will not represent him well. Because when you look at the likes of Daniel, right? They were like students in Babylon. Those are very, very classy example. And what stood them out was the fact that they said when they came before the king, they found them to be 10 times better. Because at the end of the day, if no matter your spiritual and activities, if you are not doing well, even your lecturers will just see you as an unserious person. Your classmates will see you as somebody who does not know why he is here. So first things first. That's what I always tell people. First things first. You are not first in school to engage or to carry spiritual activities on your head. You are in school first and primarily. Do you represent God? Yes, that is a basic. However, the objective of your education is excellence in what you do. So you have to find a way to ensure that you have a good handle on that. Now, having established that, I always tell people, I don't, I don't live my life in silos. So everything in my life is spiritual. So I take my academics as seriously as my spirituality, because I do believe that my spirituality enhances my academics, and my academics enhances my spirituality. So they are not disconnected. So therefore, it means that I give each of them I place them together. I see them as one. I am one. I see them as one. So, for instance, if let's say I am struggling with a course, that is something that I can go spiritual and pray to God about. God, I'm struggling with this course. What is the way forward? And God will now begin to give me wisdom, counsel on how to go about it, And if you notice, even Daniel and the other Hebrew boys, there were many times they ran into issues when, for instance, the king had a dream and he said, I don't know the dream, I can't remember, but you people have to um, remember the dream and tell me the dream and interpret it. What did they do? They went to God and God showed them. So if it is the same God we are serving, it therefore means that if you run into any struggle in your life, any challenge, any roadblock, even in your academics, it means that there is an opportunity for you to use the spiritual advantage that you have to be able to solve that problem. And that will always keep you on top. And people will begin to see that, you will now use your spirituality and your academics as a witness, because they'll say, that guy, he's so brilliant. And if like say that guy he knows God. God even shows him questions of exams before the time. Things like that. And before you know it, that would now be a point of witnessing, showing the power of God at work in your life, and it will attract other students to you. First of all, for academic guidance, and secondly, through as you are guiding them academically, you begin to introduce them to your God. And they tell you, what's your secret? Say, my secret is God. He guides me, he leads me, he gives me grace. Even when I'm not strong, I call on him. He energizes me. I'm able to do things that I naturally would not do. He opens and enlightens my mind to be able to comprehend even things that are difficult. So the balance there is, just like I said, don't separate them. Put them together and have the same mind towards being the best you can both ways. However, your academics must never suffer because of your spiritual life. I think there's a disconnect there. Because I see people begin to struggle with their academics and they abandon their academics and they now carry the spiritual on their head. That is it. But that is not the way, because you are actually just running away from your problem and you are using your academic lack of not meeting up academically. You're now using your spirituality as an alibi. And I think that's not correct. So people we must do what we need to do. There is no room for mediocrity. Jesus was excellent in everything that he did, and we have no choice than to do same. I'm sure Priscilla may share one or two things in that respect.
Thank you, sir. You have put the explanation. I think I would add more examples to what you have shared. I agree 100% with all you have said. And as you were talking, there are just exact things I would have to say. I remember a time, number one, like I went to a fellowship whereby during my time there, even my predecessors, we were always about number one, you're in school for academics. You understand? You're in school for God, and that God is part of your academics, is part of being in school for God. Your spiritual life is part of being in school for God. And so you have one life, like Papa said, no, my spiritual life, my academic, everything is lumped in one. And that is very, very important for you to understand. There are times I'll be praying, the Holy Spirit will minister to me and say, it's okay, pick up your books and read. Pick up your school books and read. And do you know what? There are times that you need to be very, very careful of just activities versus true service. It is not because you are the usher, you are the mama of the fellowship, you are doing this, you are doing that. No, everything must be done with wisdom. Wisdom is profitable to direct, and in that wisdom, you find priorities. It helps you to align your priorities correctly. When school is in session, when there are a lot of things you can push to off session. When you're preparing for an exam, it's not the time for you all to still be organizing church programs and events. You understand? When it's time for that, we cut off all things. The only thing that stands during exam period is Sunday service. And after that, everybody go home and read. We organize programs that you come read in the presence of God. Let's see how you read at home. Let's teach you how to even the art of study. So all of these things are interwoven. And if you're in a fellowship that is not conscious of the fact that you are a student and on campus to study hard and pass, and because even that your academics is a platform to shine for God. Many people through my excellence in my department came to my church because of the excellence they saw in. What's your secret? I said, it's Jesus. It's just God. Because I can't say this is why all of this. It's not because I'm that smart. It's God's grace I'm saying. And it was a light. And so God has set you as a light upon that campus, and you must excel academically because you shine not just in the church, you shine also in your area of assignment in your academics while a student on campus. I remember as my the things I was doing on campus, increased. I had to I became my church fellowship pastor on campus. I was the president of a non-governmental organization. I had my own nursery and primary school to run, and at the same time, I must still maintain my being the best in my class from 100 level to 500 level. So how would I do this? So there was a time I had to like do a lot of mission trips, had to go and encourage other brethren in another place. And it was while I was there that weekend that I got the memo that exam results were out. I said, my God, this semester I have not even read. I have been so busy and I have piled up stuff. So I have not even gone through. I'm not, I said, God, how will I do this? And the word of God came to me in John 14 when that was the first time that it resonated. It said what? It said, do not be afraid. Believe thou in God and believe also in me. That was the first time that scripture was going to resonate deeply with me. And so on getting back to school on Monday morning, I called my friend who was living downstairs in my hall then, Joanne. I said, Joanne, please come upstairs. Come. Are you ready to write the exam? Are you prepared? Have you read? Have you, I don't expect like God to be a magician. I love to be able to go through those things, know that okay, yeah, now I feel ready, and then I've done my part. It's for God is always constant. I'm the one that is not constant, so I want to fulfill my own part. And I called my friend and I said, are you ready for that exam? And she said, I'm not ready to. I need to do a lot of things. I still have a lot way to go. I said, okay, come, let's hold our hands in agreement. And right there in my room, she came upstairs, we held hands and we prayed that, Lord, we need 2 good weeks to be able to read and be well prepared and, do our own parts as far as these exams are concerned. And, we just started praying. We've not even prayed up to like 10 minutes. And I was thinking, I will pray, pray, pray. And it wasn't even up to 10 minutes. I just felt that peace. And God said, don't worry, you have it. And I was like, yeah, God just told me we have it. And let's just continue reading. We just continued. And the next day we heard that the exams had been postponed. That was Tuesday. We paid on Wednesday. It was the first time we even go. They postponed it a week longer. After that, they postponed it another week. So the day we started that exam was the exact 2 weeks we asked for. It was even the middle of the week. So that's where you see God saying, when you know that no, you are just God, is your work I'm doing. I cannot fail because I'm serving you. No, it's the reason why I must be the head. It's the reason why I must pass. So set your priorities right. Beware of activities that are devoid of true service, and you need to be able to remember and always affirm that your academics is a platform to shine for Christ. With those in place, you will know when to stop. You will know what to do by God's grace.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the insights you're giving us. And I do hope everyone is taking note of it. It's very important that we take note of all these things you're saying, because these are the things we face as students, even I myself. At one point in my life, I had issues managing my spiritual life and my school life. Sometimes I skipped church service because of our lessons and other stuff. But I think we are working towards getting better. So, Mentor Priscilla, I would like to ask you this question now. As a student, some of us have this mindset of running a business in school, like owning a job, something that can bring income or sustain us during our time in school. So, what are the first steps that we should take if we are to have a business in school? And could you share some tips on how we can balance entrepreneurship with our students' life, ma'am?
We're not hearing you, Priscilla. Unmute, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I said, I think I'm the right person to ask that question because this was my life on campus. When I was in 300 level, I I started a nursery and primary school. I was led by God to start a nursery and primary school on campus. I was a student myself. And I started in 300 level. I was 19 years old about that time. And it was just the period before the 6 month strike. We didn't even know we were going to have a strike. God just told me go ahead. I had a lot of questions, but in faith, I had to just surrender to God's ultimate plan. And I said, okay, Lord, if you say so, I'll go ahead with you. Not even knowing. I said, okay, but let me finish my exams. After I finished the exams that semester, then we started talking. I talked to all my mentors, told them about it, told my parents, and they were all worried, like, hey, this is a capital intensive. How are you going to start? That's a testimony of its own. I don't want to go into too much details about that one. So, cut the long story short, I started. I started that year, and we were able to do myself, my friends, my husband of blessed memory. All of us rallied around, and God really used us to get that school running. And so when we got the school started, uh, for 6 months we were off school because of the strike. So we had enough time to get it set up. I didn't know just so much about it. I wasn't an education student. I was a law student. And so, I had to employ I was an undergraduate. I had to employ graduates to help me manage the school. I had to, my mom is into academics anyway, and she was really a good guide. I also had a mentor in the area who was able to guide me right in that line. He was also a student, he's a part-time student, and he had a school, and it was really of great help to me in that area at that time. So I hope you're picking up the mentorship on people who do the same thing, so I'm just telling a story. It's for you to pick out the lessons from it. And so number one key thing I would say is that it is a journey of faith. It takes faith to do business on campus as a student. It takes faith. I would say that experience of starting up something that big that I knew I didn't have power over, I didn't have any resources for, was I had to depend on God for it, for provision and for guidance, and He provided it. So for students, sometimes there are times I will cry. I need to pay workers. I need to pay the staff. Uh, and it wasn't easy, but it was possible, and I did it. God did it, not me. God did it through me. So there are times that it might even want to affect you. You might be so, you might be so depressed as a result of your business not going well, that it begins to affect your academics. So these are all the things you need to put in perspective before you start, and know that He that has called you is able to see you to the very end. And even if yours is not that big, I started out sometime, I used to sell pen in classroom. I carried my pen to class, and you know how easy it is for people. There are some people, they will buy pen every day and they will lose it at the end of the day, have to buy again the next day. I made good money in it just in my class. I always had pen, and I was just selling, was it 20 naira? I'll buy it at a pack of like 10 naira each in like in the box, and then by the time I sell at 20 naira each, I make like 100% gain on it. And so that was enough for my tea fare to school, back and to school, and that was a form of business too. So whatever it is, that you are doing, you just it's possible. Whatever level you are in business as an undergraduate, you can do it. You can combine school with it. Just be creative, and you need mentorship in the right direction for it, and also setting your priorities right. Like we said earlier, your purpose is the academics, and so it shouldn't be a business that will require you not, or to be off campus, that you won't be there to do your work or won't be there to attend classes. I had that issue because when the school started running, parents would want to see me in the morning while they came to drop their kids, and I have to run to my school for an 8 a.m. lecture. And so many times I started going late to class. I will get to school maybe like 30 minutes into the first lecture, maybe like 8:30. Even my professor was like, you never come late, like what's happening, Priscilla? So it's not perfect, but it's doable. But do the one that you have the capacity for, and that you have stretched your faith to be able to follow through on. So, but above all, learn to balance. Balancing is important. All right, that's what I'll say. I think we lost Pastor Noel.
I'm here. I'm just hiding.
Okay.
Hiding.
My,
Again,
so
just
much more.
like
Just extension of the question mark. So let's, for instance, now we have students who are like content writers, graphic designers, and these are like occupations that they are mostly done at night because of the school activities at the day. So
Mhm.
how will they find the balance? Like, how will they maintain their night without burning out their energy for the next day?
Okay. For that, I would say, because you're still on campus, there's a limit to how much of this contract you can take. For example, you won't take a job for when you know you have an exam that week. So if you are taking a job, you let them know the condition that, I'm sorry, I'm still in school, I'm preparing for exams. However, I really want to do this for you. If you can give me 2 weeks, I will deliver after my exams on this date. You understand? So in a way that is not going to clash. And if they have to take it away, sometimes you would allow, or you'd let, okay, but I know someone who can also do it, so that way you're still keeping your customer, you're still keeping your client, and still make effort to give it to someone else who is less busy at the time. And you still have, it's still possible for you to even go through it and be like, okay, is this the standard I would want to give to the client? So That's possible. You can still collect it, outsource it for the time that you know you won't be available, so that you can still keep your client base. However, you can't there's timing and there's priority. That period where you know it's peak time in school, it's close to exams, you close shop for that period. Face it. And when you're done with the exams again, you go back. So that, but these days, you people, you want money over it's the money you're after. Mostly, I teach students here at Kennesaw State University, and then they don't come to class sometimes, and you're like, "Hey, you've been missing in class for like two consecutive classes. Why are you not in class?" And they tell me, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I had to go to work." Why would you fix work time for a time you're meant to be in school for your lectures? You understand? They all know you go to school at work. You can say, "So I won't be available on this day." Let go of that shift, and then you pick up a shift that works for when you are off school at that time. You can work every day, but schedule your time in a way that it doesn't clash with each other. It is possible. So that's where I'll say again, balance.
So, just to add, I think people just need the business discipline to say no, even, because some people, once the money, they see the money, oh my God, even if they have exams, so that discipline to say no, you must have it. And that means you have come to a point when you have convinced yourself and you have prioritized that my business will not disrupt my academics. Now, if you have not had that clear cut thought and prioritized your academic over your business, once they bring 100,000 naira and you have exam tomorrow and they say, can you deliver the job tomorrow? You start second guessing, worst thing, I'll just fail this exam and do it. So that discipline, I think, is key. The discipline to say no when your business begin to conflict with your academics. So I think that's just a little addition to that. And key thing again, like I would say, know yourself. Know yourself. Once you're able to have those two things in place, and one thing is sometimes people are so starchy. If I discover that my sagacity is in business, and I'm doing a course like medicine, and I know that if I'm leaving school, I'm not going to practice medicine,
Mhm.
I will start looking for a way to leave that medicine and just go into something that is light, that I know that even if I just attend a few lectures, I will easily scale through. So and it's all about self-discovery. So for me, that is very, very important. So once you realize that, then you make the necessary shift when necessary. If you find yourself reading a course that demands that you can't even combine it with business, and you want to do business, then you leave that course and go to a course that can accommodate, give you time to do
Mhm.
business. So these are realities we must face. We must always confront brutal facts. You can't eat your cake and have it. So these are the things, and that is where mentorship comes in. So if you have somebody who is like a mentor, you go meet the person will ask you the real question. Say, hey, guy, say, sir, mentor, I want to go into this business. And you ask you, okay, how are you going to combine it with your academics? And so that mentorship will also come in to help you to um, focus and prioritize so that you don't mess things up. There are a lot of people that dropped out of school because of business that I think they could have been able to combine the two if they were properly guided. I think key thing is that lack of guidance by maybe a more senior person or somebody they look up to that will help them to frame their thoughts. Thank you. Eniola is out. Do I bring him in? Let me bring him in and see. Are you okay?
It's
Eniola,
working.
unmute, 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 unmute. You are mute, Eniola, unmute.
Okay, there was a point that I heard when she said, okay, if we have a business and we know we cannot do it, we should like refer someone else. So I was like, how many of us want to refer someone else to take our job? Like, I was like, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. We do appreciate for sharing your thoughts on this. So we'll be moving next to the next question now, which is about how students, this is an after school question. So how we can navigate the complexity of life after school. Like what are the key skills that graduates need to succeed in today's job market, and how can recent graduates get job opportunities after school, sir?
Well, for me, the most critical skill that will be required, once you leave school I put them under two broad categories. One is emotional intelligence, and in short, even the other one I'm talking about is still under emotional intelligence, because when you leave school and you now face the realities of life, you will know that life is not linear.
Mm.
Life is not straightforward. Life is full with a lot of twists and bends and all the bubbles that you had in your head about how you will finish school, get a wonderful job, and after that, you're going to get married, and after that, you're going to be traveling all over the world and, have a good life. All that bubble will burst when you finish and life starts hitting you in the face. And many times people just graduate and they are filled with a lot of disillusionment. This is not what I thought life was all about. When we're in school, oh, this is not what I imagined that I'll graduate. I've written 100 applications, I've attended 50 interviews, and still yet I have not been able to get a job. What is going on? At that time, what you will need is emotional intelligence. You would need resilience, that ability not to give up, that ability to handle rejection, to handle shame, to handle disappointment. Those are the things that in my honest opinion, that people should concentrate on developing as they graduate, because that is when it will dawn on them that life 1 + 1 is not 2. And that is when it will dawn on them that all the way they are thinking things, it's not like that. That's when they will discover that there are a lot of uncertainties they will have to deal with all the rest of their life. So for me, key thing is personal development. Focus should be on emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence will come into play because you will now begin to see that the skills you needed to be excellent in school are not the skills that you needed when you move into the real world. In short, I always tell people, I said there are four kinds of intelligence. There's emotional intelligence, there is IQ, which is intelligent quotient, which is just like what your whole 4 years in academic tests. There's spiritual intelligence, number three. And there's another one which I'm always forgetting, but I call it, it's like physical intelligence. Physical intelligence. So,
Native.
yeah, physical intelligence, So, you see, if you see someone who is in the military, most of their training is in these four things. An average military man they may not have so much of IQ, but the way the military curriculum is designed, right, is designed to test your physical intelligence, your spiritual intelligence, your IQ, and then your emotional intelligence. So that's why they take them through a lot of drills. The physical intelligence, if you go see all these Marines when they are training, they stretch their endurance, because these guys look, when you finish university, that's when you realize that life is a war. It's a war, it's a
For
battle.
real.
So these are so if you had just come up with your first class and you thought that gives you a ticket to have a good life, you'll be the most miserable person. And you will find out that most A students work for B students. Why? Because most B and C students, they are used to facing disappointment. They've had carryover, but they just kept on going. But so someone who has not been having failures, when you come out in life, you find out that you can't always be having A. No, it's not like that. Life doesn't work like that. A will not just come at you. You must experience F in life. So sometimes you see that students who had a tough time in the academics come out and they become the best businessmen. They become the best entrepreneur because they've learned how to handle all the disappointments and they've learned to fail and come back. Okay, so this is what life is all about. So these are the kind of skills. These skills now is so if you have just IQ is 1/4. That's 25% of what you will. That is if you're as sharp as instinct. That is just 25% of what you will require to win the battles of life. Okay, so emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, having that sense of mission, clarity of thought, all those things are what will make you succeed, not necessarily the certificates that you have. And like people having first class, 2-1, very good. But life doesn't play like that, because if that is what was a ticket to win in life, all the successful people would be people with first class and second class upper. But when you go check the records, you see people with third class, you see people with pass, and you even see people without who never went to the university being very successful in things they are doing. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The students here, I would like to tell yourself, life is a war. You have to be prepared mentally, physically, emotionally. So
Exactly.
you don't know what you are going out there to meet, so you have to be very prepared. Mentor Priscilla, please, do you have anything you'd like to add or share?
Yes, yeah, I said it 100%. I fully agree with everything that Personal has said, and I will only just reiterate it again. Like I said, you need to be creative. You need to think outside the box, because I'm working on an initiative now for undergrads and, yeah, pretty much undergrads and high school leavers. Because I've observed that there's no job anywhere. Even the people that have graduated 6 years, 7 years, they're still looking for job. And then you now finish school and expect that, oh, you're just gonna get one big job, you're gonna live in your dream home and house, drive your dream car. I had a lot of classmates who felt, just becoming a lawyer, that's all you need to succeed in life. But they were they woke up to the shock reality, upon graduation. So sorry to bust your bubble, but a degree is not enough. Masters is not enough. School, it's not about academics, just like Papa has rightly pointed out. It's not about it. So you'll have to craft your own way. You have to craft your own path in life. And sometimes it is different for everybody. I have a lot of people who studied Greek, they're working in banks. A lot of people who did English, they are doing something in construction. So it's not about that entirely, but you need to begin now. But that initiative I'm launching soon is for people to, think ahead. Don't wait until you graduate before you start thinking of what you want to do. Start now as undergrad. All this your small Ozus, graphic design and everything. Start with them. Before you know it, they be consistent at them, and gradually you'll be able to build an empire even around those. And so I'm only campaigning for entrepreneurship more than waiting for one job, because there's no job anywhere. So that's the shocking reality, and you need to be prepared for it so that you won't be frustrated. And then you see people posting on status, adulting is hard. I want to be a child again. I want to do this again. Start now so that you wouldn't have to join those people that will always be crying, I wish somebody can, I have to pay my bills now. Start paying your bills now as an undergraduate and know how it is. So don't put your hope in that certificate. It can't help as much. And yeah, continuous learning. So even though you are doing the course now, you need to invest in other online courses, things that you see are trending and that you have passion for, and that you can easily learn to have more skills. So you need to distinguish yourself in your field, looking at how you can combine several other things. And it's not even just about certifications, also hands-on apprenticeship. You are doing mechanical engineer, go to somebody's mechanic workshop. Don't let them, I'm not a mechanic. You're doing mechanical engineer for God's sake. Go and learn hands-on skills. You understand? You need to keep learning. You don't know how that will save you in the future. So position yourself for continuous learning, even every day. Learn something new. It's not just about I'm a graduate. No, we want to know more about you. That's now still it's we're not it's no big deal to be a graduate anymore. So we just want to know, what else do you have? What else do you have to offer? That's what they're gonna ask you even when you're looking for jobs. So that's, and also plenty patience, a lot of patience. It takes time. Every good thing takes time. It takes time to build. If you look at a lot of people these days just complain. Look at Joseph. Joseph was one who, he started as houseboy in Potiphar's house. Houseboy, ordinary houseboy. He was patient through the process. It even landed him in prison again. And from there, but now at the end of the day, what happened? He became a prime minister. So we all have those seasons of life, and they will surely come. Oh, they will come. They will surely come. So, but you just have to, be ready, be prepared for those days, and don't just expect everything to go so. And finally, humility. People are too proud these days. Oh my God. You see young people, and yeah, you just shake your head, because I don't even used to waste my advice or talk anymore. Like before that, to be paying me.
We
When
have, we
they
have
will
young
learn.
papas and mamas.
Exactly, on campus already there on the shoulder pad.
And
So
we
what
have
do all
young
these
young
guys
life
do?
coaches.
Hmm. And it's people like that at the end of the day, you hear they committed suicide. Why? Because they could not deal with all of those pressures anymore. So humility, no matter how I used to pray one prayer, God, no matter how big or how high you place me in life, may I never be big in my own eyes. Because many people, they are their own challenge to their success, because they are their own stumbling block to their success. People you are meant to humble yourself before you be bragging in front of them. So, okay, they have it all already. They know it. We had an example like that, pastor in NWN. He used to do something. Pastor called him to like, come, let's talk, let's have it. He was just bragging to Pastor Noel, bragging, telling her, I've done this. So people, how do you want to help somebody like that? So you just have to keep looking at them like they have it figured out. There's no way you want to help. So that's it. And yeah, I think we
Let me
can.
just cap this up with a very interesting story on how I got my first job in one of the uh, companies I worked, multinationals in Nigeria. So during our NYSC, we had this person that was like bossing everybody around, and people didn't really like him. And so we had an office. All of a sudden, he just ejected us from our office and threw us into one room that all the old books scattered, disorganized, dust everywhere. So it was me and my colleague. He just threw us into that room. And you know what we did? We just sat down, rearranged that whole room, cleaned it up, cleaned up all the dust. We didn't give him any attitude. By the time he came back a few days later, he said, how did you guys do this? We just say, we decided to make ourselves comfortable. At least since we are here now, we want to make the best of it. We never knew that we had sown a seed. We never knew. So when it was time for us to leave and for NYS, we didn't know that this man went and told our boss that those two guys are going to keep them. And the day they were doing our send forth, he was the one that told the story. So these two guys, I remember when I ejected them from the office and I threw them into that junk room. And by the time I came back a few days after, that junk room, they transformed it. It was so beautiful. And that's when I really liked them and I picked interest in them. We never knew that seed, and he was the decision maker, who will stay, who will go. There were a couple of us, but only a few of us were kept. And he used that to make that decision that there's a reason why we have to keep these guys. Their humble disposition and their ability to make the best of their situation. So if we were arrogant and decided not to even stay in the office, because there were options for us to just leave the room and go and stay somewhere else. There are cleaners that can come and clean the room because the office had cleaners, but we took it upon ourselves to do it. So these little traits that about your personality and personal development is not something to play with. It has robbed many people of great opportunities because they think that will be used to make decisions is not what many times will be used. People look at your character more than your degree, more than who your father is or who your mother is or the connections you have. So like Priscilla said, that humble disposition and being respectful will always give you favor.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ma. I'm so glad we are talking about this. There's so much to learn, and I would like everyone to participate in this. And from what you said, there are some key things I'd like everyone to take note of. Be humble and have patience. There's no harm in saying yes, sir, or yes, ma, on things that they can help you with. Yeah, and take leverage of little opportunities you see. You don't have to wait till you have a big opportunity till someone brings a big contract to you before you start working. You can go to somewhere, just learn. And now, talking about that, I would like us to talk about internship, man. What's the best way or the relevant way students can find internship?
Okay, so you mean for find internship? Can you clarify the question, please?
Internship opportunities. Yeah. So, what are the best way to find internship opportunities in like our field of studies?
Okay. Well, that would that would depend on what field you're in, what industry you're in, and how you position yourself. Most times, who are the first set of people that could like recommend you? Your professors, your seniors in school, and many times, somebody, for example, if I want something from an organization, I don't wait, like I don't beat around the bush. I can just look for their email or something, and just send them, oh, this is who I am, this is why I'm emailing you, I'm interested in this, I can do this. Just pitch myself to them in whatever way I can do. I can. However, like Pastor said earlier, beyond all of this pitching and all, they still want character evidence. They want your mentors. That's why somewhere like NWN is a good place for you to build track record. So that, for example, NWN, we have a lot of internship opportunities. How many people are going to come to embrace it? Why? Because some of them are unpaid for. You understand? All these things, they are tests. They are tests. So it won't just fall on your lap. You have to throw yourself into the system one way or the other. And by the time you find yourself in the system, before you know it, onto the next and onto the next. What of Nii, right? Was it Nii in the NWN? And now is
Timothy.
Timothy, he landed his dream job now through internship with NWN. NWN has lots of has networking opportunities with several organizations. You just even need to let us know, okay, this is my desired place, I want to work there. We'll find and check our own personal networks and see if we know people there, and then we'll recommend you. Even if it's not available, then it's not when you need to go an internship the next month that you start looking for. No, a year ahead, 2 years ahead. So you need to plan. You need to consciously plan for it. You need to put out the word for it, and you need to position yourself, strategically for it. All these meetings we tell you to attend in NWN to build a network. You don't come. There's a conference coming up soon. How many of you are going to be there? There are a lot of people from industries that will be there very soon on NWN. We're going to be having even people that are hiring, even turn up at our events to interview people, to have their resumes and all. So make yourself available, make yourself visible, and then that's when we know we can help in whatever way we can. So you can never underemphasize the importance of networking, and that's one of our key core values here at NWN: learning, accountability, networking. Very, very important. So those are our core values. Yeah.
Yes. So in terms of internship, you can't. It's so is what the challenge most people are having is they're looking for paid internships, or internships opportunity are everywhere around you. Internship opportunities are volunteer opportunities. You take advantage of them. So it's what is more important for internship is your network, and that's why networking is core for us. There are so many
Mhm.
people I've introduced to people, and those people have done much more for them than I would ever have done. Because the whole goal of NWN is we leverage on all our network, my network, Priscilla's network, all the coaches. So if anybody comes on stream, if I don't have, I say, Priscilla, do you know anyone that can help this person? And so the future is really all these things about getting jobs, about internships. It's as what makes it the clincher for it is your network. Your network is more than your net worth. I don't know if you've heard that before. But that's how powerful it is. So that's why we encourage people to join communities, not just NWN. NWN is one. Okay, if you don't have any, we've provided one. Join. Then the second thing, be active, participate, because as you are participating, people are noticing you. There are many people that participated that the people that noticed them wasn't me. And those people that noticed them did great things for them that I never would have been able to. So all these trying to just be passive, it doesn't help you. You have to come out. If we need people to write, be the one that want to write. If we need people to, like this event now, some people come around, speak, let your voice be heard. That's the world we are living in. You can't just be quiet, and you can't hide. You have to come out. And as you do those things, the opportunities, you will attract them to yourselves. We are
Thank you,
muted,
sir.
Eniola.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. That's a well said one. Thank you very much, sir. So, before we go on, I would like to ask the viewers if you have any questions, any concerns you want us to talk about, you can please send them into the chat box and we'll pick up from there. So, going further, sir, we'd like to ask about scholarship opportunities. Like, as a student, can you provide advice on how to search for and apply for scholarship, especially for international studies, man?
That's for Priscilla.
Yeah.
Priscilla.
It's actually it's not what we can discuss here now because it can take the whole day, and it
Yeah.
depends on the country, it depends on the level of education. Is it, are you applying for undergrad? Is it for masters? Is it for PhD? So there are a lot of levels to it, but I can refer you to one of
Seminar you
the
did.
ones I did sometimes ago for US specifically. Blessing also did one for Canada, and I think bro, the UAE marking wise also need to we talked about them doing for Finland and European countries, and also peace. That's for you. I know you're online. Note this: you owe us one for
For UK.
Europe. So please, we need to work on this things because these are what people really need. So we can't really go into it right now. But for you to look for scholarships, most times for masters, you must have at least a 2-1. So start now that you're on campus. Make sure you are not less, you're not below the 2-1 mark because it gets tougher if you're below the 2-1 mark. If you have your money, you don't care about grade. They don't care about grades. If you have money, you can get into private universities that don't care about your grade. But if you're looking for scholarships, you have to make the grade for that. So also for that, you need to start. It's so easy. Random search. Just type on Google all the phones that you are always on playing stuff and doing Instagram and TikTok that is not helping. You can easily put it to good use. Type Google questions. Okay, how to get scholarship for a master's in psychology in US. Um, top 10 scholarships for international students to study microbiology in Canada. Just type random stuff. That's how you come up with a lot of all these buddies. And aside that, there are a lot of apps that are now being designed that have like lots of scholarships, and you're just going to go through them and then you determine which ones you qualify for. You look at what they're asking you, the requirements, and make them available. Position yourself to provide the requirements for all of those things. So also your writing, you're going to have to definitely write about yourself. Many of you that are watching, I hope you all have your CVs. Sometimes people don't even get to write their own resumes or CVs until they graduate from school. So all of these things, there was a training in NWN recently on how to write your own CVs and resumes. So what industry you're writing for. There's a lot involved. I can't talk about it now, so I'm referring them to the videos we have already, and the ones that will still keep watching this space for more opportunities to come to ground you in scholarship applications. But pending the time, start searching through them on your own phone. Start discovering things yourself. The more you see, then the more you're gonna keep shortlisting until you identify the schools you want, the schools that have the kind of financing and the level of scholarships you want, other outside scholarships that fund for the course you're doing. There are different levels. There are some that it comes with like um, um, graduate research assistantship or graduate teaching assistantships. It's just in too many. It's too broad. I can't talk about it now. So this matter for another day. All right.
Thanks so much, Ma. Sir, would you like to add one or two to what we're talking about, sir?
Yes, for scholarship, I would advise anyone who is a student now, and you know that you don't have the resource to sponsor yourself, to focus on getting very high CGPA, so that you're coming out with a first class and a 2-1. That gives you an advantage. Then the other thing is, there are certain courses that there are a lot of scholarships for. Some of those courses are not even the popular courses in Nigeria. In Nigeria, medicine, law, engineering. Meanwhile, there are some courses that there are scholarships in places like Canada for social works and stuff like that, but we don't pay attention to these things. So you need to do a lot of research. Do your own research. You need to do your research. I can't be doing it for you, right? So that you want to attack that. The two ways I always see for scholarship is have a very high CGPA that is competitive anywhere in the world. Then the second thing is you want to look for those courses where even your CGPA is not so competitive, but because of the demand of that manpower in that country, they are ready to give you scholarship. They don't have enough nurses in certain countries. They don't have any, so you have to do your own research. And, that's why we're saying that a lot of people will just wake up. Nobody will do this research for you. You have to do your own research. And in fairness to NWN, Priscilla has helped for those who want to do US. Go to our YouTube channel, is there. Blessing has done for Canada, and we are hoping that Peace and the Oyemakin ones we do for Europe. So we have all these resources around us to support us. So you just need to show yourself and participate.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ma. Before we go further, I have some questions here I'd like to direct. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who is watching this from LinkedIn, from YouTube, from anywhere. I really appreciate so much love for you. So this question says, please, I would really like to ask, how does one deal with final year pressure, most especially in the area of finance? Most students after school would not like to go home, but have something doing for themselves. So how does one really become financially independent, even as a final year student, where much is expected of you? So I don't know if you got the question. Should I come again, sir?
No, I think the question is right. Maybe Priscilla would have
Okay,
been
so
the best, to handle that for now. If there's any
okay.
additional, I'll let you know.
So the person is asking that they can't work as a final year student and they have financial pressures from home. So, right?
No, Eniola, please
Not
repeat the
really.
question.
Like how to navigate through the pressure, like a finance student who doesn't have, or let me see, let me come again. It says,
Okay.
I would like to really ask, how does one deal with final year pressure, most especially in the area of finance? Most students after school would not like to go back home, but have something doing for themselves. So how does one really become financially independent, even as a finance student, where much is expected of you?
Okay. So, as a final year student, you're dealing with financial pressures and all the demands for the final year level. They all come with resources, actually. Your professors are there to guide you in writing your project, and then the financial part of it is just that you need to, except you're doing like an empirical research that you have to go for field research, which I don't think people really do in Nigeria at university level. So I figure that the only financial issue you might be having is like printing your final paper, your final dissertation thesis, and submitting different copies and all to school. So if I get you right, right?
Yeah, I'm also thinking that I'm looking at it from the angle that because in people's final year, they have to do projects, and many times these projects involve a lot of financial demands, right?
Yes, sir.
So there's an extra pressure of finance in your final year. And I think that's what the person is actually trying
Okay.
to see how well. The thing about all these things is really about planning. In my own final year, when it was time for my project, there were bodies we applied to. I applied to one scholarship. They gave me a scholarship. They gave me some grants, to help with my project and with my research. So we can be on the lookout for such. That will help to reduce the financial burden. And you didn't suddenly find yourself in final year. You were in 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. So all that time was enough time for you to have planned, knowing that final year is coming. Talk to your uncles, talk to your aunties, talk to your relative. Look, I will be needing some extra support as I enter my final year because the demands are going to really be big. And of course, all those who have gone to university understand that. And of course, you should be able to get some form of support from relatives, from friends to help you carry that weight. Nobody would push back at you that you needed money for your project. In short, when we were in school, so many people said that project money, they were using it as an avenue to even collect so much more than they needed. So if the project is 10K, they will say they need 70K. And of course, people will contribute here and there. So, you students, you know how you do these things. We've been there before. Sorry,
Seriously.
I know I
Yeah.
hit some people below the belt. So you can ask for support. Nobody's going to turn their backs on you. Okay.
Yeah, and even you can let us know at NWN.
Exactly.
Send us a budget. We need to see the budget and ascertain that yes, these are the things, and we can see how we can. We are not promising we will give you everything, but we can support in any way we can. And aside that, we can also seriously is majorly, yeah, I don't think you're really going to field work. It's not all, it's not as serious as like a master's degree or a PhD dissertation. So you people are just able to, it's more of writing, it's more of research and writing. Maybe you have access, you need access to your laptop, you need power, you need, things like that. So it all begins with your mindset. So don't create unnecessary worries over it. You understand? Pray about it and plan, like Pastor Noah has already said. Plan about it in advance, write a budget of what you need, and speak to the people around you. Trust God to provide, and let us also know how we can be of help, and we'll be happy to support people and things like that. Yeah.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, sir. I hope that person you have the question dealt with. Yeah, then we have some questions again from YouTube. Um, one of our viewers is asking. It says, "I'm still an undergraduate, and I don't know where to start from in my career. So, how do I start my journey of greatness in my career?"
Join NWN, get yourself attached to a mentor. That would help you. There's no need to waste time on that. If you are not a member, apparently you are not. If you are, you should. So let's go.
So, I hope you are hearing that NWN is throwing our hands wide open for all of us. So, I think you should, you should invite as many people as possible to join NWN, and we can enjoy the benefits together. So, I'd like to ask this question. So, concerning these are general questions, like for students who are feeling uncertain about their career paths, like relating to the last questions. So, are there any underrated skills or courses that I think students should focus on during their university years?
Underrated.
Underrated courses for students to focus on.
I,
Yes.
I, I would not say no, I can't underrate any course. Like I always, my belief is
Okay.
that no course is the best course. I've always told people, what's the best course to? I said, no course is the best course. The best The best course is the course that you know you can be diligent at. Any course you know you can be diligent at is your best course. So it's not about general, it is specific to you based on who you are. There's a course that is best suited for you based on your personality, based on your level of, several factors. So there's really no best course because I've seen people who have excelled in courses like Yoruba. Somebody who did Yoruba, did PSC, they say, okay, by mistake, they just gave him Yoruba. He didn't really apply for it. He went on, did MSc. They say, now wow, in Yoruba, of all things, you would have used the opportunity to switch and do something else. The guy went again. Sorry. Hello? I hope I've not lost you guys.
No, we're hearing you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you guys see me?
We
Because I can
can't
see
see
you.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The person still went ahead and did PhD in Yoruba. And I heard that at a certain point in time, the BBC service needed someone in UK to do some translations and everything, and he got the job.
Mm.
So see how Yoruba has landed somebody an international job. So no course is really the best course. It's just for you to discover yourself, have it, and whatever it is that you can do, do it well, be diligent at it, and that would be the way to go. The only thing is we can say is the skills that people should underrated skills that people should focus on, which of course we have hammered on: emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Those two things, to me, they are more important than any other thing. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
So
sir.
okay.
Yeah, Priscilla wanted to say
Can go,
something.
ma.
Yes. So you said it all, sir, and these days it's we don't really have to focus on like professional courses like before. Some people these days it's just graphic designs, and that one has taken them places. Some people, just try to discover what you're passionate about, what you love doing. No, don't restrict yourself in a box. And let me tell you, most of those courses in the school, like Papa said, they're only training your IQ. It's not just what you need. You understand? So that's why while you're in school, you need to open yourself up for like experience, like all this internship,
Exactly.
so that you have hands-on practical experiences, because those ones in school, they're just theoretical. You may never in your life need those things. Never. Even by the time you want to apply them in the practical sense, they are different. I went to law school and they'll tell you, this is how we do it in law school, but in practice, that's not how they would do it. This is how we draft in school. But by the time you come out again, you will have to learn afresh how to truly draft, how to truly, make agreements, not the academic way, but the practical way. So there's always the practical side of things. So I see this kind of person just starting out and stuck in the realm of all this theory world. So you need to open yourself up more to practicalities, practicalizations of whatever it is you're doing. See the practical experience part of your course. That way, you will begin to draw inclinations on the areas you like, that you are passionate about, and that you can now carve a niche for yourself. So don't box up yourself in courses and not so ready, but just do them,
Exactly.
pass them, and but start developing yourself, in practice of whatever job you're doing, whatever course you're studying. Yeah.
So the future really is modularized education. What was one of some of us are still hanging on to what we had before. That system will not work. The future is modularized education, where
Mhm,
you just take the model that you know that you learn, and when you
mhm,
learn with that thing, you can create value and you can work and solve problems with it. Like I was telling my children, I don't ask my children what course do you want to read. I ask them what problem do you want to solve.
mhm,
Look at the world around you. So when you discover the problem you want to solve, that means you now have a sense of mission, right? Something that pains you. Some people, they can't stand injustice. Some people, they can't stand seeing orphans not having food. That is something you are passionate about. So when
mhm,
you have discovered that thing, now go and get the education that will help you to deliver on that thing. This is sometimes we're always putting the cart before the horse. Oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be an engineer. That's not the first thing. What problem, what pains you? Some people don't like, oh, I see people, driving cars like this. I think I can solve a problem whereby I will make driving less stressful. You don't even have to drive like this. I want to build a robotic car. So that is a problem the person wants to fix. Then you know that, okay, what education do I need to deliver on this? So this is how in the 21st century, I always tell people the illiterate is the person that is not ready to learn, relearn, and unlearn. That
mhm,
is illiterate. And I think that's where the boxing is. When
mhm,
people box themselves, they are not ready to. Because I did geology, but all I'm doing today, you can't connect it to geology.
mhm,
You can't even connect it. They are worlds apart, but it's that ability to continuously evolve with time and as things are going on that has gotten me to that point. Look at Priscilla's story. At 19, she had this, she was, how do you call the profession?
Proprietress.
She was a proprietress at 19, right? At that time, she was head of the fellowship, right? And she was top in her class. Those are, you can see that these are real life experiences. It had nothing to do with her reading law. And those are the things that are keeping her going. It's not because she read law. So these are the life skills. I call them life skills. That should be the focus. We should focus on developing life skills that will help us to combat, like I've already earlier said, the battle of life. Life is a battle. So I think we'll just rest our case there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ma. We really do appreciate. But on a final note, I have this general question I would like to ask. There are some of us that we have a course we are currently studying, but as we went on, it's like we are not. How would I put it now? The course is no longer calling us. You're no more devoted to the course. So how do you advise us to treat such cases? Because it's so rampant. Some of us are like, we just want to
Everything you are
follow our
doing
dream. We
there,
just want to sing and so.
okay. Everything you are doing in university is rehearsal. That's how I call it. It's rehearsal for so you can do any. Don't worry, it can be corrected. Even if you will never use that course again, your
Mhm,
greatness once you discover yourself, which is
mhm,
where I keep harping on. Once you discover yourself, even if you finish with a pass, you will still end up living a very fulfilled and successful life. So that is the list of your problem. University, for me, I call it rehearsal. Don't bother yourself. Once you come out, people will do mechanical, you do electrical engineering because of faculty of engineering. But when you come out and graduate as an engineer, it is where you see job that will determine the engineering you will practice. So you say, I read chemical
Alright.
engineering. If you get into a company that majors in civil engineering, Baba, you have become a civil engineer by employment and you have to do it. All right. So, but that basic wiring, you are programmed to think in an engineering way in the university. It's just rehearsal. So it's not, you are too young to be boxing yourselves. Just whatever comes your way, do it.
Absolutely, I agree, and it's possible to fall out of love with something you used to enjoy doing.
Yes.
I will quickly share my story of when I was on campus. Oh yeah, I want to be a human right lawyer. I want to defend the rights of people, and I just love litigation, like going to court, like on both sides. And oh my God, God gave me the opportunity. And then when I had the opportunity, my service year, yeah, in Cross River State. Oh my God, I go to court like every day, like almost every the place I work. We were really busy in that firm in Cross River State, and I sometimes in a day I have to like shuttle like three different courts just to make appearance like for our case. And I say, okay, so at the end of the day, I said, is this what I want to spend my life doing? I sat down, it was one day I was in one high court and I've been there since morning, like 9 a.m. because I'm junior. I have to stay out, and there were so many seniors in the court that day. So the seniority at the bar, they almost take their cases before you. So I had to wait till the ending, myself and my fellow coppers. So like until 4 p.m. We're in court from 9 to 4 p.m. We're just waiting for our cases to be called. And then that day I said, no, this is not a good use of my time. Not a good use of the lawyer's time, not a good use of the judge's time, not a good use of even the litigants. It's not a good use of their time. Why? Because the matters they are bringing, he brought he demolished part of my fence, and blah blah blah. Matters that should have been resolved like through mediation. Okay, so what do you want? Okay, so why did you like it? Sometimes just one session of mediation could have resolved it, and they're going to spend years. And the area where I was, they usually go to court, that way to prove that they have money. It's like the number of matters you have in court is what proves your wealth. That's how they measure wealth in that, there, because the literacy there is really high. So if you have matter in court, it means you're a big person. So God gave me the opportunity of what I used to pray for, and I got tired of it. I said, no, Lord, this is not this is not working. I need opportunity to be able to say, no, this is different. Make a new statement that no, we don't have to do it this way. We can do it in a better way that is helpful for everybody. And at the end of the day, even the judges, their list will be, fewer, and they are happy you are also solving their problems. So it's normal for you thought that's what you wanted to do all your life. I was telling someone recently, I said, see, the hardest question to answer as you grow older is, what do you want to be? Well, like, when you were younger, I say, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a this. It's easier. The older you get, the more difficult it is for you to ascertain that question, because your realities, it kind of changes. Your reality changes from time to time, and then you have to walk around it and still thrive in wherever you find yourself, still work out something for you to still move forward with. So it's normal, but keep discovering new passions. As you are falling out of some, there's still gonna be some that are gonna stay from the my love for Jesus has not stopped from the beginning. I will never stop by the grace of God. My passion for young people, developing them, impacting them, has never stopped, and it will never stop. So there are other passions, there are other things you can explore. It's not just about cause is a very trivial part of your life. So you can you can always find new passions and follow through on them. So that's my piece of advice.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I want to express our gratitude to all the speakers, organizers, our attendings, our viewers, our lovely viewers. Thank you, Josiah. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Anointing. We had the opportunity to explore lots of topics today, and I'm sure we all learned something valuable today. So whether it's insights or takeaway, I'm glad we had this conference. So as we move forward, I want us to remember that the journey doesn't end here, and we should keep in touch, continue the conversation with your friends, with your fellow students, your lecturers, and apply what you've learned. So it's very important to apply what you have learned today. And I will encourage you to stay connected with NWN. NWN is ready to take everyone. They have the space and they have a lot of resources and network available for us. So thank you so much for your participation, for interacting, your thoughtful contributions. And we look forward to seeing you in more of our conferences. So I would like to hand over to one of my mentors and Coach Kingsley.
Kingsley. Okay.
All right. Just be sure if you are able to hear me. Yeah. I'm excited about the whole session. Thank you so much for everyone for joining, and I'm sure that our students have learned one thing or the other. At the course of the conversation. We plan to make the conversations, an AMA session. You just ask anything that relates to school. You know, and I'm happy that we are able to learn something. So we are kicking the session. I mean, we are closing the curtain, and I just want to give some few announcements. We are navigating with Noel, a social impact um, organization in Nigeria here and over in the US. We are focused on the youth, harming them with, maybe harm might be an extreme word, but with skills that are relevant, that would make you relevant today. And that is part of the things we focus on our program, our Life Ready Individual program. So by virtue of this particular conference, we are launching our NWN trust fund to help students. I see students asking questions on finance for the academics, and you're struggling to pay your tuition fee and all the like. So we are launching a trust fund to help students to be able to navigate this. I mean, to be able to navigate the complexity of paying their school fee. So just to be able to settle the fees, and in our community will drop more info about that. So I mean, it's a wonderful time. Just take a time to go through again all the things that we discussed. We also make sure to get out some relevant part of it, just to help us to, if you wish to follow back and listen to what we have discussed so far. So that is really all for today, and I'm wishing you all a good night rest and a great day ahead of you. Those that are not that are outside the West African time zone, wishing you a good day, good time ahead, and see you soon. Bye,
Hello,
and thanks
Kingsley.
so much for our speakers and the moderator. Thank you, and please have a great time together and have a great time.
All right.